For our first story, we have updated told my husband, 34 male, 30 female, wouldn't have children in the USA and gave him the ultimatum that we would either move or divorce or be child-free. How do I explain why I am being like this? I don't know if this is worth an update. I do know this got bigger than I thought it would be. I don't think it put enough markers that could outlink than that I'm a dual citizen in a red state, and I think a lot of dual citizens are likely thinking as I am. Also, I think updated is what you're supposed to write on this, but I don't know if it will be allowed, or if you're supposed to update on the other post. A day ago I saw something that really kind of cemented my choice. A truck stopped next to me at a red light on my regular grocery route, and on the window it had painted, "Her body, my choice." I've never heard this line before. I don't know if it's some wave of insanity overtaking that side of America. I don't care. I don't even care if it was a sick joke. I was so shocked I thought I'd read it wrong and messaged my friend group. Where a friend then hours later messaged with a picture of that same truck parked elsewhere with the sign. I've decided to leave. I did start this for advice on how to explain why, better to my husband, but I don't feel safe, so I'm going to start my moving preparations, and if we still haven't come to a conclusion by the time I am leaving, I guess we can try long distance, marriage counseling, if we still want to continue this. When my friend sent the picture of the car, I showed it to him, and my husband did look disturbed. I don't know if we are going to last, I don't know if he is going to come, but I'm just done with this country. It was that the man who wrote that was confident enough to write that. It's when cruel and sick people get that confident, that I know it's time to leave. So I did tell him today in as many words that didn't want to stay anymore, and will be leaving. I told him I can't make that choice for him, but for my part, I hope he chooses to come, like I chose to stay for him for as long as I did. I had a planned trip, but I have extended it. I am going to visit my family for longer to look at areas. I'm sorry if this is not the update some people were hoping for, but with my grandmother's advice I'm also getting the same feel as when I lived in BC and saw people stay in their homes until the very last minute during the wildfire and they gained nothing from not leaving earlier. Nothing. Not sure when I'll update again, but I hope everyone is safe out there. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "It's not one pickup. It's not one, idiot. The man driving the truck probably doesn't own a reprographics company. What that means is that there is a business out there who not only manufactured the sticker but has a market to sell it. That sticker represents a cluster of decisions and choices that led to the sticker being seen in her own town. The message doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's merely the first physical manifestation of an idea that has been disseminated. A meme in the wild. That's what dangerous ideas do. They spread, and this one is a vile idea that's spreading. OP has an avenue to leave, and I don't blame her." Our second commenter says, "Her body my choice," is the new thing for them. They're gloating in the most disturbing and reprehensible ways. There are podcasts and YouTube videos, Midas Touch, discussing it. I think even MSNBC has covered it a bit in the last couple of days. It is frightening, and I fear it's only the beginning. Their leader is an adjudicated rapist and serial predator. Those folks are feeling emboldened to an extreme right now, and who knows where it may go. Our third commenter says, "Come home." For our second story, we have, "How do I, 26 male, tell my GF, 25 female, why I give her less oral sex? We have been together for 5 months now. Our sex life is still very good except for one minor issue. At the beginning of the relationship I was giving her much more oral sex than I have been for the past month. This is because I have noticed a considerable difference in her vaginal hygiene, making me want to do it less. She's overall healthy, goes to the gym a couple times a week, but noticed she's been drinking less water and more alcohol as of recent. She's mentioned it to me a couple of times now with more frequency that I give her less oral sex. I'm going to bring up the situation to her. How do I bring it up and talk to her about it without sounding rude or harsh? Thank you. TLDR. I have been giving my GF less oral sex due to her lessening in hygiene since we met. She's brought it up a couple of times. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "I had this happen with my ex. But eventually we figured out what was causing the different smell, and unfortunately I thought it was her hygiene, made myself look like a jerk. Long story short, we stopped using condoms and I was finishing inside her. I don't know if you're doing that, but constantly getting your business up in her business and then not giving her body enough time to clean itself could be the issue. The best solution for me and my ex was obvious. Lol. Not saying this is what's going on for you guys, but hey, it's worth considering what could have changed. Condom brand? Lube brand? Bath or hot tub use? Our second commenter says, if you're going condom free and finishing inside, you might be the cause of the odor change. Semen can screw up vaginal pH. Our third commenter says, here's a pro tip. The trick is to establish a safe zone where you can talk about anything at all in a calm, rational, non-judgmental way. Needs to be at a time when you are both in a good mood and have some spare time. Not right before sex or after an argument. And pick a sensible time in her cycle. It's gonna feel weird at first. I like to book it into the calendar, then we go for a walk and get into the deep stuff. We can talk about anything at all, no judgment or getting defensive. Sometimes we don't have anything deep to dig into, and that's great too. It just becomes, how can I help you out this week? It's a regular safe space to talk so that nobody bottles up their resentment, which means there's basically no arguments anymore. I've been told that my body smells when I eat too much protein powder. Also dumb shit like I fold the towels wrong. But now I know what is turning her off and I don't have to guess anymore. Who would have guessed towels was the problem? Game changer. For our last story, we have, how'd I, 32 female, tell my husband, 33 male, that doesn't want kids that I am pregnant without him leaving me? My husband, 33 male, and I, 32 female, have been married for the past 3 years. We have discussed having kids and agreed that we don't want to have children now or in the future. Since we got married, I have been on the pill for about 6 years. However, my period has not come in the past 2.5 months. I didn't think much of it because I've always had an irregular cycle, and the pill has only made it worse. To me, life without a period for 2 months felt completely normal, and I had no symptoms whatsoever, so I assumed everything was fine. That was until my monthly checkup when my doctor informed me that I was 6 weeks pregnant. I couldn't believe I never skipped a pill. I take it on time every day, there is no way that I skipped one. I asked the doctor to run the test again, but he insisted that the test was accurate. I even bought tests from the pharmacy, and all of them came back positive. I have felt numb for the past 2 weeks and don't know what to do, and he just keeps asking me what is wrong, which makes me worry even more. I know my husband doesn't want children, and I'm unsure if I want to experience what an abortion feels like. I love him and don't want him to leave me, especially since I know he has dealt with a lot that has influenced his feelings about having kids. Please give me advice on how to tell him without him deciding to leave me. Note: this is a throwaway account because my husband follows my main one. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, I would just sit him down and be honest. My period was late. I was at the doctor's anyway and they gave me a test. I am 6 weeks pregnant. I don't know what to think or do. I'm really scared and need your support. Then just wait for him to respond. Update me. Our second commenter says, you have to tell him, and if he doesn't accept that, then that'll be it. Our third commenter says, he's your husband. You tell him, and the two of figure out your next steps together. You didn't make any mistakes. The pill is just not 100% effective. It's not your fault. So you just tell him. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.